we all have learning strategies. So we have strategies for improving our skills. We have strategies for assuming them as self-directed activities, taking them as tools. We have strategies for better learning that would enable us to learn better. So strategies can be defined as behaviors, steps or techniques that one adopts for acquiring second language skills. Strategies are of 4 kinds. The first one is deep and surface strategy. Second, taxonomies of various learning styles and strategies. And number 3, comprehension strategies and production strategies. Comprehension and production strategies are for specific language skills. Coming to deep and surface strategy. Deep strategy, as you can see on the screen, connects the known with the unknown. It connects among the unknown and makes new connections among the known. Now what does this mean? Deep strategies actually make association among concepts and elaborate and conceptualize hierarchies and diagrams into hierarchies and diagrams. That is what the deep strategies at the board. Surface strategy is helpful when there is something that needs to be done in the short term. Rote memory is a surface strategy because we don't have to connect to anything for rote memorization. Reading through the word list without much thinking about the words, about the contents is also a surface strategy. So now let's look at what happens in a classroom situation. A teacher assigns a reading task with a word list. There are 25 new words in the article with meanings at the end. So learner 1 reads through the article and then refers back to the word list as soon as a new word comes or as soon as she encounters a new word. Now what happens? She then feels that if the teacher gives a quiz on the word list, then she would have to answer the word list and starts memorizing. So she takes half an hour in memorizing the word list. Whereas another learner, say learner 2, concentrates on the article, but he doesn't refer to the word list. He tries to make meanings of the words from the contents. If the word is at the beginning of the article, then he doesn't know what the article is about, so he would skim through the article to get the meaning. And if he is an actinic learner, then he would keep aside the meaning and look at the structure of the word. So he would find that the structure has 2 sections. The first part is the stem and the second part is an ending, which may be similar to past tense, and the structure of the stem may be similar to some word which he knows. So he applies backgrounds or schematic knowledge here. If he is an academic learner, then the hypothesis has to be verified with the word list. So all these are deep strategies. And he doesn't take much time to memorize because he had already gathered the meaning, already learned the new word while trying to figure out the meaning from the context. And this is also very helpful and better than rote memorization. So surface strategy actually looks at the surface level, whereas deep strategy is better than surface strategy. It takes a deeper understanding of the elements. So next I come to the divisions of what deep strategy is. So deep strategy involves maximum thinking, that is much of cognitive activities and attention, whereas surface strategy works on minimal thought. So taxonomy of learning styles, this is the second point of discussion. So we have 2 kinds of learners. The first kind is effective learner and the second kind is the less effective learner. So effective learners actually employ strategies which they are aware of and they know why they are employing such strategies. So there are 2 kinds of effective learners, the skill learners and the high performing learners. The skill learners employ strategies which are tailor-made to suit the language tasks and which work together well. Whereas the high performing learners employ strategies such as metacognitive strategies and cognitive strategies. We have a short video excerpt from Josh Walker for introduction to metacognitive strategy.
Cognition is the realm of thinking. Metacognition is the realm of thinking about thinking, not thinking about the phenomenon of thought in general or the nature of knowledge in the philosophical sense, but reflecting on your own thinking process. If cognition is what happens in your mind while you're engaged in learning, metacognition is what happens in your mind when you're engaged in monitoring and managing your learning. Consider painting a self-portrait. There are two levels of activity. There's painting, the touch of the brush to the canvas. Then there's metapainting, the painter's awareness and regulation of the painting. As the metacognitive painter reflects on his work, he draws on his knowledge of painting in several ways: an awareness of what colors complement each other, an understanding of which brushstrokes produce different effects, and the discernment of when to apply different techniques and use certain brushes to achieve the desired result. The reflective painter also manages his own painting as he goes along. He is mindful of how he plans to use the space of the canvas. He monitors his progress to make sure he is staying on track. And he evaluates his work, constantly checking that the paint on the canvas reflects the image on his mind and in the mirror. Whether it's painting or the knowledge and skills of any other discipline, we want our students to not only be critical and creative thinkers, but also to become reflective about their learning. As students face an ever-increasing demand on their attention and an ever-broadening world available for consideration, an important part of helping them think for themselves is helping them think about their own thinking.
Metacognitive strategies are planning one's learning, evaluating, organizing, whereas cognitive strategies are analyzing, summarizing, taking notes, transferring information, and so on. If we look at the social aspect of strategies, then there are certain kinds of strategies. So these are to gain cooperation, to stay motivated, to get help, and so on. So the less effective learners employ certain strategies such as rote memorization, translation, and these are very much there in the classroom, even though we say that these are for the less effective learners, but these form these are very much part of the learning process. Comprehension strategies are for the receptive skills of listening and reading. So these have strategies of using background knowledge, dividing words into parts, using the dictionary, using the context. And whereas the productive strategies, which is number 4, employ strategies such as paraphrasing, rehearsal, using an authentic text as a guide, using the dictionary, adhering to the unknown, and so on. My next point of discussion is the general learning style, the general approach of the learning styles and strategies. So here I'll talk about two kinds of styles: the global style or holistic style and the analytic style. The global style students are the ones who go for predicting, guessing, scanning, and so on, whereas when they are working with some unknown context or unknown words, they go for paraphrasing and gesturing. Analytic students, on the other hand, go for contrastive analysis, rule learning, dissecting words into parts, and so on. Analytic students do not go for predicting unless they are pretty sure of what the outcome is. So the global students refer to the global factors, and the analytic students go for the specific factors. So the global students and the specific students can contribute to each other, can learn much from each other in a language classroom. The teacher can offer a variety of tasks, variety of learning the exercises, learning tasks for employing both these kinds of learners and employing various kinds of strategies. The students must be made aware of the various kinds of strategies which they themselves have and which they can learn from other students in the classroom. The key is to make use of a variety of learning tasks in a learner-centered communicative approach. Now we have short videos on learning styles and what learning styles do you prefer. So let's watch the next two videos.
First, draw a 2-inch by 2-inch square. On the lower right corner of the square, draw a 1-inch circle. From the top left corner of the square, draw a straight line intersecting with the lower right corner of the square. Everyone has a preferred method. Even though you may have tendencies to different ones, there'll be one primary for most people. Knowing the one that's most difficult can help you when you're teaching others. Your descriptive words might look something like this. You could even make your own Wordle and have some fun with your descriptive words. This short and fun icebreaker activity can be used to engage your students and prepare them for a detailed study in learning styles or even a written learning questionnaire to further explore this topic. Thank you.